Psalm of David. Ascribe unto the Lord, O ye sons of the mighty. Ascribe unto the Lord glory and power. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters, the God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon mighty waters. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars, yea, the Lord shivereth the cedars of Lebanon. The voice of the Lord flasheth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord causeth the oaks to shake and maketh the forest bare, while in his temple everything says glory. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace.
Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki b'kol havracha me'rosh me'kerem nesucha sof na'aseh le'machshava techila o'i v'shalom hateret ba'ala בשמחה ובסערה תוך אמונה סגורה בואך בואך לך דודי לקראת קלה שבת
Continue on page 14. Mizmor Shel Yom HaShabbat. It is good to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. Upon the 10-stringed instrument and upon the psaltery, and with a solemn sound upon the harp. How great, O Lord, are all thy works, how exceedingly profound are thy thoughts. When the wicked spring up like grass and the workers of iniquity flourish, it is that they may be destroyed forever. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They shall still blossom in old age. They shall be full of sap and verdant. The Lord reigneth clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed and hath girded himself with power. The world is also established that it cannot be moved. The floods, O Lord, raise themselves up. They lift up their voice, and the floods raise up their waves. Thy testimonies are most faithful. Holiness beseemeth thy temple, O Lord, unto the utmost of days. Will you please stand? Baraku et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless ye the Lord, who is ever blessed.
Baruch
Blessed be the Lord, who is blessed forever and ever. You may be seated. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who by thy word causest the evening to advance, who with wisdom openest the gates of heaven, with understanding changes times and various the seasons, and disposes the stars in their stations in the sky according to thy will. Thou createst day and night, causest the light to recede from before the darkness, and the darkness before the light. Thou causest the day to pass away, and bringest on the night, and makest the division between day and night. The Lord of hosts is thy name. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who bringest on the evening twilight. And we continue together. With everlasting love hast thou loved the house of Israel, thy people. A law and commandments, statutes and judgments hast thou taught us. Therefore, O Lord our God, when we lie down and we rise up, we will discourse of thy statutes. We rejoice and exult in the instructive words of thy Torah, commandments and statutes forever and ever. For they are our life and the prolongation of our days, and on them we meditate day and night. May thy love never depart from us. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who lovest thy people Israel. Please stand for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kevo Malkuto Leolam Vaed. Blessed be his name, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר לנו כמצוות היום על לבביך, ושמנמתם לבניך ולבת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלתך בדרך, ובשרכך ובחומך, ושרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue together, page 16. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. You may be seated. We continue together. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give the rain of your land in its due season, the former rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your corn and your wine and your oil. And I will give grass in your field for your cattle, and you shall eat and be satisfied. Take heed to yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other gods and worship them, and the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you. And he will shut up the heaven that there be no rain, and that the land will not yield her fruit. And he perished quickly from off the goodly land which the Lord giveth you. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, talking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down and when you rise up. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that your days may be multiplied in the days of your children, upon the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers to give them, as the days of the heavens above the earth. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר בני ישראל ולמדת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפיהם וגהם לדורותם ונעתנו אז ציצית הכנף בטיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית ולתמותו זרקתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תעתורו אחר לבבכם ואחריכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוציא אתכם מארץ מצרים לקחם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם Amen. Our hymn this evening, can be found on page 211, number 7, God is my strong salvation.
God is my strong salvation, what foe have I to fear? In darkness and temptation, my light, my help is near. Though hosts encamp around me, firm to the fight I stand. What terror can confound me, with God at my right hand? Place on the Lord reliance, my soul with courage wait. His truth be thy defiance, when faint and desolate. His might thy heart shall strengthen, His love thy joy increase. Mercy thy days shall lengthen, the Lord will give thee peace.
A few announcements this evening. First of all, to let everyone know that Passover starts on the eve of Passover starts on Sunday, the 22nd, Sunday the 20th, Hanukkah, not Passover. Wow, I'm a little like 6 months ahead of myself, or 3 months ahead of myself anyway. Hanukkah starts 22nd, okay, and it will finish on the 30th. On the 27th, we will be lighting our menorah Hanukkah at the synagogue, so we look forward to everyone there. It will be special, it will be very special on the 27th, okay? It's a Friday service, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be here. Not much else in the way of announcements at this point. I know we have been announcing the issue of passes, so all our visitors can be welcomed. So anyone who's not a member of the congregation, we ask that you check with our office and just place your name with the office so that when you attend, there is no issue with your admission. So please let me, if there's anybody who's not clear or needs any assistance, please let me know and I'll do the best I can, and as will the president, assisting you with getting all that cleared up, okay? Because we will be instituting this issue of passes, I understand, unless there's any changes, in January. We will continue on page 18. True and firmly establishes all this with us, that He is the Lord our God with none besides Him, and we Israel are His people. He is the God who hath avenged us of our adversaries and dealt out a recompense to the enemies of our souls. He hath caused us to tread on the high places of our enemies, and exalted our horn above all who hate us. In his wrath he smote all the firstborn of Egypt, and brought out his people Israel from among them unto everlasting freedom. His children beheld his might. They praised and gave thanks to his name, and willingly submitted to his dominion. Upon the sea, O Lord our God, thy children beheld thy majesty. Altogether they praised thee, proclaiming thy kingdom power, and said, Adonai Imloch leolam va'ed, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who hast redeemed Israel. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu, Avenu leShalom, ve'hanamidenu, Malkeinu, lechaim tovim, u'shalom. Ufros, Sukkot Shelomecha, v'tachinenu etzah, Tova milefanecha, ve'hoshienu Ufros, Avenu, Sukkot Rakamim v'Shalom, Baruch atah Adonai, haporech Sukkot Shalom aleinu, be'amo Yisrael, be'Yerushalayim.
Blessed art thou, O Lord, who spreadest a tabernacle of peace over us, over thy people Israel, over Jerusalem, and over all mankind. Amen. Please stand for the Beshamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם, ברית עולם. בני בן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי 6 ימים נשא אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויקרש שמי רבה, Mad vrachotei yamlich malchutei. Jetzt mach borkanei, bekerei mishikei. V'chai echor v'yom echor, v'chai echor v'ed Yisrael. V'agalau v'zman karib, v'emoru, Amen. Yesh miraba mevarach, ve'elam le'al me'al barak, ve'yishtabach. Far from it nasei, ve'tzada ve'kalei, ve'tzalash ve'kutsha ve'ritku. Le'elam kol berchata, shirata, tishbechata ve'rechamata. Damiro ve'alma ve'emoru.
We continue to read together on middle of page 21. In this moment of silent communion with thee, O God, a still small voice speaks in the depth of my spirit. It speaks to me of the things I must do to attain holy kinship with thee and to grow in the likeness of thee. I must do my allotted task with unflagging faithfulness, even though the eye of no taskmaster is on me. I must be gentle in the face of ingratitude, or when slander distorts my noblest motives. I must come to the end of each day with a feeling that I have used its gifts gratefully and faced its trials bravely. O Lord, help me to be ever more like thee, holy for thou art holy, loving for thou art loving. Speak to me then, O Lord, as I seek thee again and again in the stillness of meditation, until thy bidding shall at last become for me a hallowed discipline, a familiar way of life, so that I may live on in deeds that bless other lives and leave behind me the heritage of a good name. Amen. You may take a few moments for silent personal prayer, or you may chant or read the Amidah silently on page. You can find that on page 39 of 40. Continue together. Page 21. O my God, guard my tongue from evil and my lips from uttering deceit. And let my soul be silent towards those that curse me, and grant that my soul may be humble as the dust to everyone. Open my heart to receive thy Torah, that my soul may pursue thy commandments. Speedily, I beseech thee, frustrate the devices and destroy the machinations of all those who rise up against me for evil. O grant it for the sake of thy name, grant it for the sake of thy right hand, grant it for the sake of thy Torah, grant it for the sake of thy holiness. O save me with thy right hand, and answer me. עושה שלום ממרומיו וברחמיו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. אמן.
אשר שבייכו השמיים והארץ וכל סביבם אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. יברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Lord, as we recall all our departed and the blessings they bequeathed unto us, we pray thee to keep their souls united with ours in the bond of life. May our faith, like theirs, be strong, our devotion to the Torah unfaltering, our love for Zion constant, and our concern for Israel and humanity unceasing. For as we identify ourselves with the life, hopes, and traditions of an eternal people, we ourselves take on the aspect of eternity. May we so live that when our years draw to a close, we too shall be remembered for good and for blessing. Amen. Continue together on page 22. Our God and God of our fathers, accept, we beseech thee, our rest. Sanctify us with thy commandments and grant our portion in thy Torah. Satisfy us with thy goodness, gladden our souls with thy salvation, and purify our hearts to serve thee in truth. Cause us, O Lord our God, to inherit thy holy Sabbath with love and delight, and grant that all Israel who hallow thy name may have a rest thereon. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who hallowest the Sabbath. And for all those who have gone before us, we sanctify their name with the mourners Kaddish, page 22 and 23. It kadal ve kadal sheme rabba. Yalma dever kerote ve amlik malkote ve atzmar kukane vikare meshike. Vikare kurum ekul ve chayav ve chol be Israel ba'ala vizman kariv ve ro amen. Yehe sheme rabba mevorak le'ala me'alma yayet barak. Vishtabak vitapar uchuman vitnase vitadar vitali vitalal shemede kusha beraku. Lalamin kol birchata shirata tishmachata venachamata damiran be'alma ve'ru. Yehe shlama rabba min shamaya kayim vesava yeshua venachama veshesava rafua gala v'salaka v'kapara v'ravak v'hatzala lanu l'chol amu Yisrael ve'ru. Amen. Ose shalom bivromav ufrachamav yase shalom עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו, אמן.
עושה שלום ברומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו, אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, יעקב ישראל. 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 עושה שלום בברומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. To all our beloved departed whom we now remember, may
peace and bliss be granted in life eternal, and may the Father of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort any bereaved among us. And let us say, you may be seated, and service will continue with the 23rd Psalm, page 24.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake, his name's sake. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, thy rod and thy staff, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They comfort me. Surely, surely, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever, forever, forever.
Shabbat Shalom. This week we read a parasha by Shev, and it's a very well-known parasha. It has to do with the whole issue of Joseph and his brother's confrontation, he being sent as a slave eventually to Egypt, etc., and all that happened, and the high drama as we know with this particular parasha. But I've been looking around a little bit, and I have a couple of different, angles on this particular parasha. The easier ones and not so easy ones, but so I thought I'd take maybe somewhere in the middle today, share with you from one of the rabbis from Israel. In fact, from Afula in Israel. I don't know what that part means, but I know it's from there. Anyway, suffice it to say, it's entitled Mysterious Events. It says, life generally, and Jewish life particularly, is unpredictable, surprising, mysterious, and enigmatic. Jacob expects that after his encounter with Laban and Esau, the worst is behind him. But the fun is just about to begin. We could predict that after the sibling controversies between Ishmael and Isaac, Jacob and Esau, that the greatest sibling controversy in Jewish history would now begin. All sorts of mysterious and inexplicable events conspire to bring this story along. Why does Jacob give Joseph a special tunic and show him such favoritism in front of his other children? Why does he send Joseph on such an apparently dangerous mission to find his brothers? And probably the most hidden, the most significant, is who is this mysterious man that leads him into the lair of Shimon and Levi? That's the man that he meets in the field when he goes to the field that they're supposed to be at, but they aren't, and he asks directions. This guy just appears essentially in the field arbitrarily and tells him that they're to go to where they are and to travel further and find them. And why is the final result of all of this the sale of Joseph to a slave as a slave destined for Egyptian bondage? Later in the parashah, how does Judah commit such an apparently immoral act? And why is he nevertheless rewarded as being the ancestor of Jewish royalty and messianic destiny? And why does Peretz, that's the son of Judah, push his way out of his mother's womb ahead of Zerach? They were born as twins. The Torah grants us no answers to any of these fantastic questions. Midrash offers various comments and interpretations to help us somewhat understand this chain of events. But at the end of the story, it all remains one great enigma wrapped in heavenly mystery. The rabbi notes that he's very poor at solving mysteries or explaining very difficult, complex Torah issues and biblical narrative. Therefore, he contents himself with observing in wonder the story that the Torah relates to us. The prophet taught us, Joshua taught us, that God's ways are not our ways, and that his guiding hand in all human affairs remains invisible, mysterious, and most wondrous. This is the basic thrust of how Jewish tradition viewed not only biblical narrative, but all of Jewish and human history. In our time, the Holocaust was unforeseen, unbelievable, and even after its occurrence, it is still subject to denial by millions of people. Who could have imagined a Jewish state emerging in the land of Israel against internal and external odds, expectations, and predictions? And how, after millennium of Torah tradition and ritual observance, would that state bring forth as an apparent bastion of secularism and even atheism, notes the rabbi. You may or may not agree. Yet all of this has happened, and the wonders of Jewish life continue to expand before our very eyes. Israel has become much more of a Jewish state than a socialist one. Anti-Semitism has never been stronger, and yet the Jewish people have never felt as emboldened and strong as it is today. The enormous rebirth of Torah scholarship and study within the Jewish people the world over, and especially here in Israel, is perhaps the greatest surprise of our time. All of this should make us wary of expert predictions, all-knowing politicians, and other savants who claim to know our future and what is really in our best interests. Mysteries of the parashah are themselves the message of the parashah. It's fairly interesting, makes you think a lot, in my opinion. Doesn't give you some straightforward, basic, this is what you're supposed to understand. So that's why I thought it would be a little nicer to share this evening and let you think. What is it that you really believe? What is it that you really want? Other rabbis have told us that as we are told to read the Torah over and over and over, and in doing so, we really start to understand the nuances, the differences, and most importantly, the ability for this constant reading and re-understanding to even change our sort of dogma in a way, and what we absolutely believe to be accurate about the Torah. Because in reading we find different ways of thinking, different ways of understanding. So what is done is not absolutely always right. And this is what the Torah gives us. It gives us this interest, and it gives us Jews and all who wish to follow its thought process something to constantly keep us on our toes. Thank you very much for allowing me to share with you today. I will now open the ark and ask that you all stand. Service, thank you. Service will now continue on page 25. On page 25 with the Adoration Alleluia.
Alleluia, Shameach, Ladon HaKol, Latet Kedalanet Ser Bereshit, Shelo Saru Ego Yehatzot, Velo Somanu, Hem Mishpachot Arama, Shelo San Chalken Kahem, V'golenu Kechol Amonon, V'anachnu Korim U'mishtagavim U'mozim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'yased Aretz U'mashav V'kara B'Shamayim Mima'al U'shchina Tuzo V'gavei Merumim Hu Eloheinu V'eino Emet Magenu V'efes Ulato Kol Katuv BaTorah V'yarat Hayom V'asherota Erev Avecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim B'shamayim mima'al V'haaretz mitachat Eino Ne'ema Ay Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Hayom ha'u Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
We beseech thee, O God, in behalf of those who are stricken in health and strength. And on this Sabbath, we ask for your blessings on Jacob Adam and a quick recovery from Erica Cooper, Wallace Campbell and Susie Moore, Hilary Matalon and Eleanor and Sharon Thompson, Barbara DaCosta, Janice Pear, Eileen Reynolds, William and Helen Perkins, and Marvin Goodman. Let thy blessings descend upon the means used for the restoration of thy servants, and increase the wisdom and knowledge of all those who are battling on behalf of humanity. May the afflicted amongst us learn patience under trials and speedily be restored to health and usefulness. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei Kol Amo Yisrael. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who healest the sick of thy people Israel and of all mankind. Amen. And for all those who are ill in our community at this time, we chant for their healing, Misha Barak.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Emoteinu Mechor Abracha Avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelama, renewal of body, renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
You may be seated. Service will continue with closing Igdal, age 26-27, excuse me.
Yigdal Elohim chai ve'yishtabach, nemsaver et el netziuto, echad v'en yachid ke'ichuro, elam v'gam en sof le'achduto. En lo demut haguf ve'en haguf, lo naro kelav kedushato, kadmon lechol avar asher nivra, rishon v'en reshit l'reshito.
Hino Adon Olam lechol matzah, yovel gulato u'malchuto, shevan u'ato netano el, azeh zegulato v'tifarto.
Lo kam be'Yisrael kemo she'or, navet u'navitel temunato, Torah temetnatan le'amoel, hayad neveo neman beto. El is chasid kemifalo, noten rashon kerishato, Akshaket shemim meshichenu, ifdot mechakeket yeshuato. Meitim Michael, Baruch Baruch
cosa suele caer y ame sodater de
Sit you stand, please, for the final blessings. May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Amen.
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Amen.
May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and grant you, all who are here this evening, the blessing of peace. Shabbat shalom, happy and peaceful Sabbath to you all.
It's a welcome change. You know, sometimes